on, you mangy buzzards, and don't come back.
Pull up, let's see who's gonna slide out first. Baby boy ever try to call me the worst. This one drink had to go to the church, buy a clock out the street.
So the scene starts off with the Joker wearing a Joker mask. I don't know who he's trying to fool right now, giving out free cotton candy to little kids at this theme park. And if you guys have read the comics, this dude Joker really laced the cotton candy with poison and was trying to kill these kids.
You what?
Like, y'all know how much of a sick, evil monster you gotta be to do something like this? And that boy Batman was not playing around today. Saw Joker up the gun on this woman and he literally boomeranged him instantly. This is when Joker realized he was not built for this. Like, imagine pulling up to a theme park thinking you're about to have a great time with your family, only for Joker to pummel your dad and mom, then grab the son like he's Diddy. That boy Batman was really moving like Leonardo with his stealth mode activated, literally waiting behind Joker. I know bro was pissing his pants cause Batman pops out and slams it against the glass, tossing him into the wall. Then hits a mean right-left combo, then Joker tackles him to the ground only to get kicked all the way back. And at this point, Joker knew he was cooked. Joker then starts skedaddling immediately, and this dude has to be locked up because bro just randomly starts shooting these civilians who are just trying to have a day at the tunnel of love. Like, what did they even do? And Batman saw this buffoonery and he knew that Joker had to go today, grabbing him and tossing him into the wall, literally little broing him. All the people I've murdered by letting you live. Like, okay, Bats, talk to him, my goat. And Batman must have saw Absolute Joker's new design and said, oh nah, screw the no cure rule, gripping Joker by his eyes, then snapping his neck. Like, damn, Batman, finally, it's about time you killed the Joker after letting him live for about 150 years in destroying Gotham City. But hey, I'm gonna pass the mic to my dog, ChiJutsu.
Robin versus Slade.
So boom, we got Robin vs. Slade round 1 of like 1000. Cause I swear the Teen Titans were literally some S-tier heroes unless they were fighting Slade. Bro really has them fumbling the bag every time they square it up. But Robin chases him across mad buildings and now they face to face calling the ones. Slade starts using that talk no jutsu and they go blow for blow with each other. But it turns from an even fade to a fade where only Robin was taking damage. Dude hasn't landed a lick since this whole scuffle started, and in the most disrespectful way possible before falling to his death. Slade saved bro so he could continue the fade. And he doing this to Teen Titans Robin, the same Robin who had both his knees bent back to drop a knee bomb on Psychotech in the back of the head. Robin locks in and knocks the chips out of Slade though. He goes over and takes off the mask only to see that it was a fake. I knew it! Slade over here talking about, we'll fade again, Robin. And that junk was eating Robin up on the inside, I already know. In round 2 of they fades, Slade was throwing straight disrespect at Robin. I was low-key baffled witnessing the beatdown Robin was getting. When bro got his arm caught and thrown cause his body was too little, I was thinking like, hey Robin, you might have to sit this one out, my guy. Maybe Slade just your kryptonite. Had Robin on his hands and knees. Bro got the courage to run back in just to get hit with a 1-inch punch that had the dust forming a circle around them, but the scuff must go on. And I know y'all starting to see a trend now, huh? Each fade really just looks like a Robin beatdown simulator. In the 3rd round, this time Robin and Slade are going nonsense for nonsense. Robin out here trying to play chess, not checkers, by pretending to be Slade's apprentice. He tries to sneak Slade, but gets put in his usual position. In this episode, Slade had these nanobots infecting the Titans, so Robin really couldn't do much until he infected himself with the bots and told Slade, hey, if you kill my friends, you lose your apprentice. And I know you don't like to lose. So Slade immediately destroys the detonator, killing off all the little nanobots. Do y'all know how cold you gotta be for someone to be banking on you to destroy your own plans because you simply can't lose in any fashion? But he also fell for the rage bait because Robin caught that leg kick and the Titans went ham on bro. They even done sliced bro's mask off. Bro scurried off into the darkness like Pennywise after that. And in the final round of they one-on-ones, they in this dang forest, and Robin looking through the trees and Slade just sitting there like, peekaboo my guy. Then they start doing gymnastics down the forest. They really hopping from tree to tree like Ninja from Naruto. Robin throws that boomerang and poof, Slade vanishes with the thunder. Bro got the high ground now up top, rage baiting. Too slow, Robin. And this where Slade uses psychology. Bro starts backstepping through the trees while Robin is full blown trying to slime this fool out. Imagine the mental state you'd be in if that were you. They start talking and Slade telling Robin he got a plan to blow up the whole city. And back at the tower, the Titans over here trying to figure out what's going on with Robin. Slade got bro mind tweaking out. Man's done escaped his medical treatment to go absorb massive levels of CTE from this imaginary Slade. Slade was really moving like Freddy Krueger in bro dreams.
Superman versus Darkseid.
So after Superman and Batman got done saving Supergirl from Apocalypse, we then transition to the next scene where we see Superman and Supergirl heading over to Smallville. And Supergirl is getting ready to live a new life without dealing with any more villains. Basically a fresh start for her to help her adapt to living on planet Earth. Like Supergirl is pretty much a Discord mod, she's never touched grass. Alright, so they hop out of the car and Supergirl takes a glance at the farm that Superman used to live on. And bro, take a look at this beautiful scenery. When I was first watching this, I really thought we were about to get a calm little ending to the movie. The two lived happily ever after. But nope. If you're born as a superhero, you are bound to get caught lacking at any moment possible. You could be taking a shower and still not be safe. Like even the chickens were skedaddling off of the farm because they knew something bad was about to happen. And instead of taking that as a red flag and saying, let's get the heck out of here, they continue to walk towards the house. And as we all know, this is where things take a sharp U-turn. It's about to go down. So Superman walks up the steps and tries opening the door, only for him to get one pumped and sent flying straight into the tractor. Like bro, this man Darkseid is an S-tier hater. He was really spawn camping behind that door for the entire day, waiting for Superman to appear. How did Darkseid even get the location in the first place? This is sick work. Superman really has a rat in his camp like Drake. We need Batman to find who gave Darkseid the address. Darkseid then breaks the entire door, and you can only imagine what kind of damage someone is about to cause with that type of anger on their face. Cause Darkseid hits Supergirl with the Chris Brown special, making her crash right into a car. Like, is getting cooked on your own property not crazy? If that was me in that situation, I would have taught Darkseid a little lesson.
Stop the cap.
I didn't come for the girl. I came to exterminate you, Superman, and take you out of existence.
Oh, scary. Shiver my timbers. Shut up, man.
And then Darkseid lasers the crap out of Superman, but then this dumb little girl attempts to save Superman just to get beamed against the ground and onto the cornfield. But hey, Supergirl is much better than me, cause if I saw Superman on the floor slept, I would have just called up the Avengers right away. I mean, the Incredible Hulk got me covered if I needed him, right? Never mind. But then we see Supergirl laid out on the dirt doing her very best Gohan impression. Like, someone grab her reboot card, please. And Superman, watching her own cousin getting absolutely demolished, finally comes to his senses and tries spinning the block just for Darkseid to grab Superman by his neck. Like, nah, is this y'all goal right here? I'm just saying, Batman would never get disrespected this badly. At least Darkseid had respect for Batman and actually spared him, unlike Superman over here. Then Superman tries lasering Darkseid, but this man instantly grabs his entire face with one hand. Like, this is not even a fair matchup at all, cause being able to palm your opponent's head is absolutely vile. This man Darkseid is in the wrong universe, cause who in their right mind decided to place him in the DC world? That's like placing a baby inside of Jurassic World. It makes no sense. And Darkseid completely fries Superman's eyes, giving bro the Toph treatment. He can't see anything except black. I feel for him. But then Darkseid pounds Superman high into the air, making him do a couple flips. And at this point, we could hear the Mortal Kombat playing in the background.
Finish him.
So Darkseid laser beams that fraud Superman into outer space, and he's gonna be talking with those space aliens real soon. But bro, look at Darkseid's face. This man has never been more happy in his entire life. And have you guys peeped how Darkseid always keeps a straight face until Superman comes into the equation? Like, if hating was a profession, Darkseid would be a trillionaire. I inspire to be like him, bro. But now that Darkseid is distracted, he gets interrupted by Supergirl, who lands a mean double kick, sending Darkseid crashing into the house. But then this man just shakes it off like it's nothing. But hey, hold on. I do have to give props to Supergirl because she was standing on business even though Superman wasn't by her side, but still stood up to the challenge of fighting Darkseid. And Darkseid is actually a D1 capper because didn't he just say he was only after Superman, but now he's suddenly talking about turning Supergirl into ashes? Like, why you say screw me for? This man Darkseid will really fight you even if you're 1% Kryptonian. You could be born in the same hospital as Superman and still catch these hands from Darkseid. So Supergirl easily evades the laser beam and clocks Darkseid right in the chin, giving him that Bruce treatment, and it results in a clean recovery from Darkseid. But then Darkseid counters by lasering Supergirl off of the roof and straight onto the ground, making her tumble like a bowling ball. And bro, what happens next is actually mind-boggling. This should be against the rule books, bro. There should be no reason for you to hit a 16-year-old girl with a double foot stomp like you're Robin from Teen Titans. And keep in mind, Darkseid is like 2,000 pounds. That's like queso landing on top of you. So Supergirl's face should be identical to Squidward's right now. But somehow, Supergirl gets right back up and starts beaming down Darkseid, and to nobody's surprise, Darkseid tanks Supergirl's attack, smacks her to the ground, and then boosts her into the air like he's Lionel Messi. And Darkseid was really trying to boost his KD ratio because after all that, he beams the life out of Supergirl and sends her a few acres across the farm. And at this point, Supergirl and the ground are best friends right now because that's all I've seen her touch. She's out here looking like Jaden Smith from Karate Kid. I mean, look at her, she's struggling. Like, this cannot be Superman's cousin. This is literally a random white chick from Starbucks. Can I get a triple cream express latte head at? And before we continue with the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It does help the channel out a lot and it's free as well. But let me stop yapping though. And here's where Supergirl starts locking in because she flies into the air and then weaves a couple of Darkseid's lasers with ease. By using her 200 IQ, Supergirl slides behind him and gives Darkseid a taste of his own medicine, making him get tickled by his own lasers, causing a rod wave-sized impact. Like, okay, Supergirl, I see you. I was not familiar with your game. I owe you an apology right now. You are very gorgeous to me.
I'ma eat it.
And Supergirl had to remind Darkseid that she got that dog in her because she speed blitzes Darkseid, gives him a 4-piece combo, no Wendy's, and then kicks him in the jaw. Like, dang, I know she's Superman's cousin, but look at how high she had Darkseid floating up in the air like he's inside of Minecraft creative mode. That Kryptonian training is something different. That's a 16-year-old doing all of this, bro. Then Supergirl follows up with a couple of strong haymakers, just going to town on Darkseid's face, and then she lands a reverse kick, dodges the beam, and then uses Darkseid as a surfing board and smashes him back to ground level. Damn! And can someone tell me what Superman is doing right now? Bro literally aborted the mission and let Supergirl do all the work for him. I'm gonna say it again, Superman is a fraud, cause how is a teenager outperforming you? There's no excuse for this, you're trash. Boo, you stink. But Supergirl still has more left in the tank because she lands a kick and then pushes Darkseid, making him bounce off of the ground like a basketball. And she's not finished because she proceeds to stomp on Darkseid with all of her force, hits him with a 3-piece combo, kicks him in the face, and then shoves Darkseid into the barn, making him lay on his gigantic back. And even though Supergirl has hands like she can box, it seems like Darkseid was just playing around with her the entire time because he gets on his feet, Hulk smashes her, and then hits her with a mink mink. And it looks like Supergirl was just desperate for an African belt beating because she rushes in and gets completely mollywopped by Darkseid and then punts her through the wall and then starts walking down Supergirl with his hands behind his back. And to make matters even worse, this man Darkseid inflicts Supergirl with that classic villain speech that no one wants to hear, talking about,
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose.
Darkseid then cooks the crap out of Supergirl with his laser beam, and right as Supergirl was about to get sent to oblivion, the cameraman pans over to Superman, who feels Supergirl's life force slowly disintegrating. So he glides his way over to Earth, but it looks like Darkseid's job is already finished, is what I first thought, because Superman spawns in out of nowhere and stops Darkseid from escaping. Superman then goes to check up on his cousin, only for him to get interceded by the iconic cape grab by Darkseid himself.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
But one rule that should never be broken is to tug on the hero's cape, because this action alone was enough to awaken the beast inside of Superman. Like, Darkseid really could have just took his W and left right then and there scot-free, but now that Darkseid has screwed around, he's really about to find out. And Superman is like, get your nasty hands off of my cape, and punches Darkseid in the face and starts flying towards him at full speed. And dog, look at Superman's facial expressions. He was not playing around after Darkseid laid his hands on the drip. because he smashes him through the building and then follows up with a nasty right jab. But Superman said this is personal because he pushes him, lands a few one-ups on Darkseid, and this is where things get real serious because Superman earthbends the rock that Darkseid is standing on and then squashes him like an ant. But Darkseid claps right back by lasering Superman and then immediately starts posing for his next IG post. Like, bro, you're not Sakuna, we're not gonna put you in an edit, lil bro. So Superman starts crashing out because he starts rapidly punching Darkseid, just rearranging his face in every single angle. And he was hitting Darkseid so fast that he caused a whole tornado and then put him into an infinite combo that he couldn't even get out of. That man Darkseid was really fighting for his life out there. He was definitely not built for this. He was better off staying on Apocalypse because there's no way Darkseid actually thought that he could get away with kidnapping Superman's cousin and then grabbing his cape in the same movie. Who does he think he is? So Darkseid eventually gets a hold of Superman's neck and starts blasting his face point blank, and that grin gets wiped away real fast after he sees the portal right behind him. But Superman takes full advantage and kicks Darkseid away and then hits him with a classic Karen special. Don't come back to my country, and if you come here again, I'll send you back to where you came from. And basically, the movie ends with Superman saving the world by sending Darkseid into space and packing him up for the time being.
Darkseid versus Justice League.
So the scene rolls off with Darkseid making his entrance into Metropolis with his army of goons. And off rip, we got the Justice League just standing there watching Darkseid invade their own territory about to get colonized. And the crazy part is, they didn't even bother getting into fighting formation, out here standing like the Three Stooges. They were cooked from the very beginning. And on top of that, we got Superman talking about doesn't look that tough. Like, brother, what do you mean he doesn't look that tough? We're not forgetting what happened last time. You got your whole cape grabbed, all of your aura snatched in an instant. You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy.
End of flashback.
And Darkseid made his entire presence known to the city of Metropolis, talking about, I am death, I am Darkseid. Like, nah, this is the coldest villain in DC history by far. I don't care. This pull-up is really on par with Green Goblin from Spider-Man 1 when he had the entirety of New York City in the palm of his hand. So then a bunch of fighter jets get deployed onto the battlefield, but this man Darkseid just tanks both rockets with a straight face and then proceeds to send both pilots to the gulag with no effort whatsoever. And my guy Flash knew it was over before it even started, like Lil Pump's music career. You could see the fear in his face and all. He does not get paid enough for this job, bro. And Green Lantern has the audacity to tell Superman to stand back, all for this man to rush in at Darkseid just to get one pumped, hit off the wall, and then starts getting jumped by a bunch of NPCs. Like, dog, after seeing that sequence right there, I cannot take Green Lantern seriously anymore. This man lost all of his aura in the span of 5 seconds. Cause bro, name me a single Green Lantern fan in 2024. That's like the equivalent of having Ice Spice as your favorite artist. So the fight starts off with Shazam throwing a lob to Wonder Woman, who slices this robot apart, and then Batman starts comboing this NPC using every move in his bag, something that Giannis Antetokounmpo's brother doesn't have. Like, nah, I'm crying. Batman really thinks he's a part of the team right now. You don't have superpowers, little bro. You're just a guy inside of a bat costume. Just put the fries in my bag, bro. But Superman and Flash are really out here going crazy, out here farming free XP points on these robots, anything to boost the KD ratio. But then the inner Patrick Star inside of Green Lantern brain tells him to spin back on Darkseid because he turns into a train just for him to trip on Darkseid's feet and fall to the ground. You're trash! Like, how can you call yourself a superhero after this? Superman should really banish you out of the Justice League like Zuko. You're just taking up space at this point, like DJ Khaled sitting on a couch. So Superman comes in with a clean two-piece combo, no Popeyes, only for him to get grabbed by the cape once again and then gets thrown to the ground like a pile of garbage. And I'm not gonna lie, if I'm the Justice League right now and I see Superman eating straight bricks on the floor, I'm hanging up my superhero costume and pulling a Derrick Rose. I'm retiring, bro. And I really thought it couldn't get any worse for Green Lantern, cause this idiot is like, I'm not through with you, and he tries going in to hammer Darkseid but gets his entire arm squashed like a grape. Like, bro, I'm honestly about to end this video 3 minutes in cause I'm done commentating over Green Goblin. Every time he's on the screen, he gets whooped every single time. Like, dog, at this point, give me your ring.
Why are you being like this?
Give me your ring.
Okay.
I ain't playing with you.
So Wonder Woman rushes in at Darkseid and says mink mink, but Darkseid said eat my fist and catapults her straight into Superman's arms. And then Shazam suddenly turns into Sneeko and tries third wheeling with Wonder Woman, but to say the least, she was not interested in Shazam. Hit her with that Kai Cenat response, but we're friends though. You know what I'm saying? That's tough. Shazam then fires an electro beam right at Darkseid's chest, but bro nonchalantly ignores it like Duke Dennis and then laser beams the life out of Shazam, making him lay out on the floor. And yo, the rest of the Justice League, all they could do was just watch this African belt beating, cause they knew they were about to be up next. And dog, if I were them, I would have just handed Darkseid the entire Earth. Like, you got it, little bro. I'll just move to Jupiter or something, I don't know. So Darkseid charges up a diabolical Hulk smash and absolutely incinerates the city, but somehow, even after the blast, Superman is still alive. And then look at Flash popping over his shoulder. He does not want to fight anymore. And Superman and Flash are making this extremely shocked face, like they just witnessed Rod Wave eat a salad. They didn't know it was possible. Darkseid then shoots a laser beam, but Superman and Flash saw that from a mile away, cause they start doing the race like TK and start skedaddling out of there, thinking of a plan to stop Darkseid's Omega Beam. But then the cameraman switches to Superman, who's out here moving in every single angle to avoid Darkseid's Omega Beam. But sadly, Superman is not Weave Nation certified, because he gets clipped in the back by Darkseid and he starts falling, dreaming, to which he gets grabbed by one of Darkseid's henchmen and gets taken somewhere far away to XQC, who has full power over Superman. And bro, this man Darkseid is a menace to society, because look at him hovering over Metropolis like he's inside of Minecraft creative mode, just destroying random buildings for no reason. Like, genuinely, what do you gain from that? This man Darkseid needs to be stopped immediately, bro. But before we get into the main fight, make sure to hit the subscribe button right now, or else Darkseid and Diddy will appear in your closet at 3 AM. So if I were you, I would listen. So the rest of the Justice League start going after Darkseid, and in the middle of Green Lantern telling Shazam the whole game plan, bro really says, nah, I'ma do my own thing. Cause this man rushes in by himself just for Darkseid to turn around and then starts gripping onto Shazam like Rod Wave holding onto a Big Mac. And then Darkseid proceeds to fling him right into Cyborg, who gets sent flying straight out of the frame. The Flash then accelerates like Usain Bolt, jumps off of the building just for him to get slapped onto the rooftop. But hold on, the Flash is not done, cause he turns into a tornado and smacks Darkseid in the face, and I'm not gonna lie, it's looking terrible out there. No Superman, no Batman, all we have is Green Lantern and Wonder Woman left. There's no way out of this one. We're done. So then the Justice League attempt to jump Darkseid, but obviously they're way too weak to even stand a chance, cause Darkseid throws Shazam right into Wonder Woman and makes him tumble onto the floor like a bowling ball. Like, at this point, I'm curious as to why the Justice League have not learned their lesson like Drake with Millie Bobby Brown. Their chances of defeating Darkseid are the same chance as KSI dropping a good song. It's not happening. So the Flash then kicks Darkseid in the chin and then proceeds to run away right after. Like, why are you running?
Why are you running?
Like, I really thought that the Flash's speed would give the Justice League an advantage, but nah, he just likes to duck smoke. Hey yo, we had a plan, why didn't you listen to me? Like, bro, you're not Batman, what plan could you have possibly cooked up? Man, shut your... And then literally out of nowhere, Wonder Woman clocks Shazam right in the face for not obeying Green Lantern. And bro, if I was Shazam, I would not take that calmly. Cause the way I would have activated that Chris Brown special, it would not end well for Wonder Woman, I'm telling you. So then Wonder Woman turns into MLK and becomes the leader of the Justice League, cause everyone in the group starts following her lead. But my man Darkseid was not fazed a tad bit. Like, this man hasn't even cracked a single smile since he's arrived on Earth. He's fueled off of pure hatred like Eddie Brock from Spider-Man 3.
Stop it. Get some help.
So while everyone is fighting the NPCs, this man Flash starts running on water, dodges Darkseid's beam, and then turns into a tornado and starts confusing Darkseid like Flight Reacts trying to read a sentence.
When you in WOM and you hear your name bout to be you giant.
The Flash then hits Darkseid with a mean right hook into a clean face kick, and then the Flash starts skedaddling away so that Shazam can deal some damage on Darkseid. Shazam then tries throwing punches at Darkseid, but just like KSI inside of a boxing ring, they're all misses because he smacks Shazam and then lasers him straight into a building. Like, nah, the Justice League are actually the most washed superhero group on the entire planet. McQueen is fading. He's fading. Right before Cyborg is about to have a reunion with Iron Man and Black Widow in the grave, he gets saved by none other than Wonder Woman herself. Like, she's out here putting the team on her back like 21 Savage on a song with Drake. And bro, that save was so cold that it even forced Darkseid to smirk a bit. That's how you know Superwoman is the MVP on the team right now. But then out of the blue, this man Darkseid gets blasted in the back, which pisses him off quite a bit. But turns out it was Green Lantern who initiated this attack. Like, finally, it's about time you put yourself to use. But hey, we all knew it was not gonna last long, like Dr. Disrespect's career, cause Darkseid phases right through, appears behind Green Lantern, and then pummels him straight into the water.
Damn!
So Wonder Woman rushes in at Darkseid with a few misses, elegantly weaves the punch, and then proceeds to somehow tie around Darkseid's head with her rope. So then Wonder Woman blocks the laser beam and then manages to poke right through Darkseid's eye, giving him that Shisui Uchiha treatment. Like, okay, I see you, Wonder Woman, I was not familiar with your game at all. Like, after this battle, Superman better give Wonder Woman a max contract on the Justice League. This is where pure havoc breaks loose in the city of Metropolis, because Darkseid speed glitches Wonder Woman and then causes more property damage by ragdolling her across the land. And oh, nah, there should be no reason to be gripping onto Wonder Woman this hard. Who made this man Darkseid this angry? And it doesn't end here, cause Darkseid breaks through 2 buildings and then repeatedly starts bashing Wonder Woman over and over again like he's Kratos.
I'm proud of you, you know that. I hope you do.
So then the Flash finally arrives to the scene and he starts piecing up Darkseid, but really all these attacks are doing right now is tickling Darkseid like a baby. He does not feel any pain at all. Darkseid then hits a clean weave and then charges up a nasty left hook and smashes the Flash and makes him explode. And right as he was about to end up at a Michael Jackson concert, this man Green Lantern comes in clutch and deflects Darkseid's laser and then tosses his shield right at him. So then Shazam and Cyborg try double teaming Darkseid, but that does not go according to plan, cause he starts violating Cyborg and then throws him into some infrastructure like an unwanted child. Shazam then sneaks in from a blind spot and catches Darkseid off guard, but then Darkseid grabs him and then flings him away like a side character. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Darkseid is straight feasting on the Justice League, but I do respect the dedication, cause getting beat up for like 20 minutes straight and still fighting is an achievement itself. Wonder Woman then tries getting her get back and says, double kick, I know you see me, hold this right hook. And at this point, the Justice League just start annihilating Darkseid, hitting him from all sides and angles. And hey, there's not much he can do, cause he's fighting with one eye, out here looking like Mike Wazowski. So Wonder Woman then ties Darkseid's entire body up, but obviously that wasn't gonna last for long, cause he breaks out of there and then sends the entire Justice League a few meters back. But then this man Flash starts climbing up the building, jumps off, and then destroys Darkseid's eye using a literal crowbar. Like, hey, I'm proud of Flash for pulling that off, but if that movie wasn't named after the Justice League, we all knew how this would have ended. And I kid you not, after like 5 whole straight minutes of the Justice League trying to send Darkseid back to Apocalypse, they finally managed to succeed. And it took every single member to send this rod wave-sized organism back to where he came from.
Robin versus Psychotech.
So the scene kicks off and we're currently in Tokyo, and it was on site between Psychotech and the Titans. The Titans fire at Psychotech, but this man must have had his Sharingan activated, cause he was hitting all types of moves to avoid from getting hit. Like he saw those from a mile away. The cameraman pans over and we just see the Titans standing there talking about,
stop now!
Yeah, man, the locals don't like it when you blow up their stuff. Oh, scary! Oh, shiver my timbers! Shut up, man!
Psychotech was just standing there with his hands in the air as if he was actually gonna surrender, but then he just hits the
Got him!
So Psychotech gets out of there immediately, and he was in mid-air hitting the cleanest weaves. He was simply untouchable, out there looking like Goku. Psychotech starts heading for the Titan's tower, but then Cyborg pulls up on him and this man turns him into Sasuke. But Cyborg must have forgot that he can regenerate his arm back like Piccolo. You can just tell that Cyborg is quaking in his boots right now. That man was shook. He simply was not built for this. So then Psychotech puts an explosive boomerang in Cyborg's car, but he luckily gets out of there before he gets turned into smithereens and has to join Thanos and Iron Man in the grave. And my guy Psychotech is on a mission, cause even though it's like a 1v5 right now, he's still heading for the tower. But then all of a sudden, Starfire's trash ad decides to pull up and sneak up right behind him and is like,
but I did not wish to do this when you were not looking.
Look, I told your little friend Shut your
Psychotech was not trying to hear any of that, so he grabs her and then tosses her like how Mario did to Bowser. And then he proceeds to throw shurikens at her. He was trying to pack her up right then and there. But then she somehow gets saved from dying from fall damage. So after all of that happens, Psychotech finally arrives at the tower and starts blowing this thing up. Like bro, he threw at least 20 explosives. Calm down dog, it ain't that deep. And Cyborg still didn't learn his lesson after how he almost got packed up. Like bro, I need you to do everyone a favor and stop fighting and let Robin handle this. Because
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
And Psychotech is like, oh yeah, it's free eats out here. So he dodges all of Cyborg's blasts and then throws explosives and sends this man flying downwards, but then he just gets saved once again. Like you're trash, scared. So then Raven thinks she's slick and tries a sneaky move on Psychotech and crushes this man together with 2 boulders. But bro, how do we tell you that's not gonna work? Psychotech rushes at Raven and serves her up with the most majestic kick I've done ever seen. I know even Jaden Smith was impressed after seeing that one, bro. And my guy Robin just watched the entire team get cooked right in front of him for like 10 minutes straight. So you know he had to lock in, because Psychotech just caused more property damage than the Avengers. Robin comes flying down from the building and he was out here looking like Miles Morales. He had a straight face and everything. That's how I knew it was personal for him. So Robin goes behind Psychotech and takes the jetpack off of this man's body. I don't know why he chose that move. Like bro, couldn't he have just hit the Miguel O'Hara and slammed his body to the ground? But Robin gives him that 3-piece combo, and right before he could hit the ground, Robin tingles him up and he had this man hanging upside down like Spider-Man. So Robin starts interrogating Psychotech like it's an episode of Scooby-Doo. But you already know he couldn't snitch on the gang, cause this man starts talking in gibberish. But we all knew he was acting dumb on purpose. Maybe if he had a Big Mac with some fries on the side, he might have pulled a 6ix9ine. Okay, so boom, it's nighttime in Tokyo and my guy Robin is just chilling and observing the gadget that he stole from Psychotech. Like that man was moving like Sherlock Holmes, looking for any clues that he could get. And it looked like a pretty chill scene, right? But what he didn't know was that he was about to get caught lacking. Because you know how villains be moving. If they can't win the first time, they might as well try again, because they have nothing to lose. So out of nowhere, an explosive is thrown at Robin, but he's got those fast reflexes, so he obviously makes his way out of there. And bro, look at this frame. This could be an album cover, that's how hard it was. The cameraman switches angles and we see that another Psychotech spun the block on Robin, and you know he's fiending for his get back. Robin starts chasing Psychotech like Phantom chasing a cheeseburger. And I'm actually kinda confused right now, cause how are you gonna pull up on Robin but run away from him? Like why are you ducking a fight that you started? And Robin has a Steph Curry accuracy, he has that perfect aim. So he lands a blade in Psychotech's back, and this man froze and then dropped to the ground. And I know his bones are on life support right now. If it weren't for that suit, he would be cooked. And I think all of you guys know what's about to happen next. This was the main reason I made this video in the first place. Because look at what Robin does, bro. Bro, you cannot even make this stuff up. How are we just finding out what Robin was doing to his ops back in the day? Like this show was made in 2007, bro. Like, is this a new episode? Am I missing something? Bro, there should be no reason for a little kid to be hitting the double leg finisher like he's in the WWE. Like, nobody in their right mind would even think of hitting this pose right here. Not even Randy Orton. And bro, at this point, I feel bad for Psychotech, because he looked up in the air and saw that he was about to get packed up. Like, if that was me, I would have just accepted my fate right then and there. Because there's no way I'm about to escape a double knee finisher that's coming straight for my dome piece. So then Robin lands on Psychotech, but he luckily escapes from getting one tapped in the head. And he's like, I want answers! Nah bro, I think we need answers for what you just tried to do. Don't think we're gonna slide past this. And Psychotech was not gonna let that type of disrespect get to him. So he gets right up out of there, and this is where they start boxing. Robin goes in for 2 kicks, but he blocks those with 0 effort. And this is where Psychotech turns into Ronaldo and starts cooking. He swings at Robin and then kicks him in the chest, but he's not finished. Cause this man charges up the meanest roundhouse kick and then smacks Robin in the face. You could just tell he was mad angry after that one. So then Robin starts chasing after Psychotech for a little while until Robin comes out of the shadows and tackles him onto a rooftop. And I don't know if it's just me, but this reminds me of the first time Sasuke and Naruto fought on a hospital rooftop. Like, you already know the fight is gonna be fire when it's being held at a random location. And Robin somehow handcuffs this man in the middle of the air. I'm not even gonna lie, I was not familiar with your game. Psychotech turns into Houdini and gets out of the handcuffs in like 5 seconds, but then he pulls out 2 swords out of his inventory. And this is where stuff got serious. Robin slides under Psychotech, but this man jumps over him and cuts his clothes in half. But there's one thing you shouldn't do, which is to mess with a man's drip.
And Robin is like, I bet, you wanna play dirty? So they get to fighting, but then Robin barely manages to get out the way. Psychotech breaks Robin's blade in half, and then they both throw a fury of kicks at each other, which deal as much damage as Jake Paul throwing a punch at someone. It does nothing. And long story short, Psychotech hits the dash for like the 10th time this fight. I don't know why he's trying to get away. But then Robin just throws an explosive, which sends Psychotech flying backwards, but then Robin grabs him and then slams him into a billboard. And Robin was moving like Tom Holland the time he fought Green Goblin, because he was spamming a bunch of punches on Psychotech. Like, bro, the fight is over. You're doing way too much.
Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you made it this far, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more DC videos, and I'm out.